Welcome to Imagine Peace, the podcast that invites you on a transformative journey toward a world filled with harmony and understanding. Together, let's ignite the flame of peace within ourselves and radiate it outward so we can have a future where unity prevails. This is Imagine Peace, where dreams become reality. Join us as we explore the power of compassion, the beauty of diversity, and the potential for positive change. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Imagine Peace. I'm here, Marbeth Dunn, with my cohort and co-director of 10 Million for World Peace, Terry Angel. And today we have an amazing guest. We have Melissa Binkley, and she is a very highly respected international speaker, humanitarian, author, spiritual thought leader with a passion for helping people achieve conscious awareness and spiritual fulfillment. And drawing upon a wealth of degrees and certifications and expertise in fields ranging from quantum healing to Vedic science and quantum physics, Melissa is helping to usher a new consciousness into the world. Melissa is also the creator of the groundbreaking docuseries, Quantum Miracles, featuring over 100 experts discussing the intersection of science and spirituality. With over 1 million viewers worldwide, this series has helped to usher in a global spiritual awakening and transform countless lives. Oh, Melissa, I am thrilled that you're here with us. Can you tell us about the work that you're doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm first off, so grateful for the work that you're doing in the world with your 10 Million for Peace, and especially with what we're going through in the world right now. So thank you for having me on here. And, I'm honored to be a part of this ushering in of consciousness that you are also a part of. I think really that's the key of what we're looking at here. So, I mean, what do? I don't know. I mean, I started out as in the world of physical wellness, right? Like I was after I healed my own crazy self and everything, I started out in the world of physical wellness. And as I dove deeper into healing my physical body, I came to really recognize what I think we all do as we start to go through, I call it like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you have food and body taken care of, and that, you start to rise up into the levels and start to see other parts of yourself. And I, went on a deep dive journey into healing my trauma and healing myself. And as I was doing that, I'm working with clients. I was having these incredible clients who are having these miraculous healings, like stage 4 cancer being healed, endometriosis, thyroid conditions, different things like that. Cause I was working on the physical, I thought I was working on the physical level with my clients, and started to realize that there was something deeper. And so I went on this deep journey into the world of, spiritual, like energetic healing, quantum physics. Like I went down the rabbit hole, but I'm a scientist. Like I'm somebody that I'm really into the science side of things. So I was never a God person, because of my own childhood. My father had been a minister and was one of the worst people that I ever knew, things like that. So I was like, wasn't into the God thing, but I was seeing all these things that were miraculous things that were happening. And I was like, okay, there's got to be something here. And that kind of led me into finding my God, finding the universe, that source, you can call it whatever you want. I do actually use the word God now again, in a different way, but finding that experience and getting to a place where I now call I say I'm a high on life. I was high on drugs in my 20s, and I am high on life. And I've found the prescription for bliss. And so I like sharing it with the world. And there's 1,000 different pathways to that, right?
Absolutely. So tell us about some of the ways that you share with the world.
Okay. Well, I have the docuseries that you guys are a part of, right? That this is in our 4th annual. And so I had the opportunity to be able to interview and share classes and new teachings from, at this point, over 4 years, almost 150 different healers, New York Times bestselling authors, doctors, scientists, and spiritual leaders, thought leaders from all over the world. I've been on podcasts and TV. I have an academy that I just actually shut down my academy last year because we're building something new. But the Intuitive Intelligence Academy was one of the leading schools for spiritual and trauma healing. And we had students in 18 countries and had helped over 10,000 people. I have, different programs, and I'm writing my fourth book right now that I'm really excited about. So I've been a part of a couple of 3 compilation books. But I think my big thing that I'm really excited about is the book. And I've spoke on stages all over the world for crowds of up to 2,000, and partnered with a lot of really cool people. So I have courses and healings and live retreats. Like I've done retreats all in different parts of the world. Really excited now that COVID's over and getting back into the world of that too. I'm doing my first retreat since COVID in Bali next year in 2024. So I'm excited about that. And I'm looking to do some things in some other cool sacred places around the world next year too. Yeah.
So I know that you have a background in transcendental meditation, and you're familiar with the types of experiments that have led to our experiment, with Dr. John Hagelin. So do you want to share some of your experiences with meditation and how it relates to inner and world peace?
Absolutely. So I know about 100 different types of meditation at this point, right? And transcendental is one of them that I studied. Actually, I'm getting my PhD in the science of consciousness and human potential. And one of the requirements was that I had a basis in transcendental meditation to be able to do this, because I'm studying Vedic science and quantum physics. And what I know to be true through that, and then through the intention experiment with Lynn McTaggart, who's somebody that I've done interviews with and things, is that there is this baseline of understanding that the more that we drop into these higher states of consciousness, when we allow ourselves to get rid of all of the things around us through that meditation. Now, TM says that TM is the only way to do that. And we all, right? Yeah, I love your eye roll. We all know that that's not true. We have hundreds and thousands of testimonials and ways to know that this is possible to reach these higher states of consciousness in many ways. But the key is understanding that what is actually happening when we are dropping in or meditating is that we're changing the body and the brain chemistry and connecting into our field. I call it the God field. We're connecting into this infinite field of possibilities, and it's allowing our levels of consciousness to raise. So you're reaching what I call bliss consciousness. That's what I call it in my book that I'm writing. You reach these levels, and when you are in a state, you're connected into the field, and that field is connected to everything else. And that in itself creates a ripple of peace, right? So I always say, I'm teaching my book, High on Life, A Prescription for Bliss, is about how to get to bliss consciousness. But I say the first step is you got to get to peace first. You got to get to neutrality, to peace, because you'll never get to joy and bliss if you don't get to peace first. And peace is, I think, the baseline and the absoluteness of where we need to be. But what we know to be true is the more that we find that within ourselves, we are in this holographic universe that we live in, the more we find it in ourselves, that intention and that feeling and that experience of that higher state of consciousness ripples out around us. And that's what you guys are doing with this, 10 million for peace. I mean, the studies that you sent me and already are just so powerful to show that. We think that we can't make a difference, one person, but I know it to be true that we can. And it only takes the square root of 1% of the population to change the whole world. That's not that much. If you guys want to do the math, right? It's not that much.
Right. Oh, I love that. So do you have a spiritual practice that is your go-to?
Oh, yes, all sorts of things. So I'm a very ritualistic person, but I'm also a big person on variety. I was in 12 countries last year. I've traveled all over the world. So one of the things that people know about me is I don't like to sit still and stay the same. So I do have a ritualistic practice, but it goes everything from, I do meditate every day, but I don't do the same type of meditation every day. I'll do all different types of meditation. I've made a practice of, because I'm a writer, like writing every day, as whether it's automatic writing for my book, bringing something, because there's a magic that goes with like the pen and the paper. I love something fun that my partner and I do is I love to pull cards. I don't need them anymore because I get channeled information, but it's still really fun to give that divination experience. I have altars in my house. I sit in front of my altars of my soul, light candles, like these little things. And then of course, like I'm also a body channel. So for me, bliss and ecstasy are paramount, which means that I have to move my body to feel and have those things happen. So I am a get up in the morning and dance naked in the backyard kind of person. You know, I'm also very much into the tantric sexual energy of things, right? Like the body is the bliss playground. And I think that sometimes we get into the spiritual so much that we forget that we brought this human, you know, animal, that we're in this body that's an animal, that we're supposed to play with it and have fun with it too. And so I'm very, very, very keen on, you know, I do sports and yoga and things like that that are all part of my spiritual practice for me. But I always tell people, like, if you feel like you're missing something or that there's something you're not doing, it's because you haven't embodied it yet. And so I find that embodiment practice is something also, and I do that every day.
I love it.
Yeah.
So cool. So I'm going to just kind of jump in and say, tell us about your docuseries.
Absolutely. So the Quantum Miracles docuseries, what happened is it's, you know how it's one of those things, you're in a higher state of consciousness. The universe is sitting there looking at you, and and you're like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? And it was December of 2019, so right before COVID. And I had this, I had gone to this event, and I just had this download, and I was like, I'm supposed to do something online. I'm supposed to do this like docuseries. And then of course I launched it unknowingly, that COVID was going to happen in May of 2020. And so I had a captive audience because everybody was at home. And I had enough clout with some of the big names because I'd been on stages with them and things like that, that I was able to pull some really keynote people for that first year. And it was super successful. Like, it was like just one of those things that we blew it out of the park because of that. And so then, you know, I've kept up with it. So we have, you know, amazing people from like Neil Donald Walsh to Dr. Sue Morter and John Assaroff, and, you know, Deborah King, Marcy Shimoff. Like, there were some really incredible people that really have special messages to share. And what our goal with it is to revolutionize your reality. So it's not just another interview, it's an experiential journey for people. So we have each of our people come on, and they take people through a process, or they share a way to it. They give them also a free gift. And we want them to have like both quantum insights, which is the science side of spirituality, but we also want them to understand new healing modalities, biohacking, spiritual transmissions, and really have a embodied experience of it. So not just being like, okay, here I'm listening to another thing, but I'm not implementing it. And so my mission with Quantum Miracles is to reach people that are not necessarily in the world of spirituality, you know, that aren't necessarily like already doing all the things, but to reach that whole new group of people that are sitting there that are like, I'm sick and tired of what's going on, and I don't know what else to do. And what do I do now? Because my paradigm is shifting. I no longer want to live this way, be this way, but I don't know what to do. And so that's my goal, is to reach those people and to catalyze transformational shifts in human potential. You know, by doing that, we unveil the harmonious intersection of science, spirituality, and these alternative healing modalities, because the world is going towards, and we will start to understand as we start to leave this 3D experience and how physical everything has been, the magic and power of things like vibrational medicine and energy medicine and sound and sacred geometry. So we offer this rich tapestry of like teachings and transmissions and expert discussions. And the aim is to empower people to heal and manifest and unlock their greatest potential. So that's kind of like, you know, I was like, this is like this thing that I wanted to create. I did it as a one-off, not knowing that it was going to be something that I would keep doing, but it's been such a powerful experience for me too. Like, I cry through these. I've had interviews where I bawl my eyes out. I have times where I have profound experiences. And it's such a beautiful community too, because then someone will come and be like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. I'm going to have to connect you with this person for next year or this. And so it's building this like beautiful community too.
I'm so excited that we're on it this year.
So happy to have you on it. Yeah. Because your message of peace, and, you know, especially with what's going on, has been going on, but now, especially right now with what's happening in Israel, Pakistan, and all the situation that's going on over there and all of that, it's like, now more than ever, we need this work. Now more than ever, we need peace. Now more than ever, we need to understand energy. Now more than ever, we need to understand that we are all one, that there is no separation. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, or, you know, what gender you are, or anything. And this is, you know, I am someone that, I have a transgender child. I you know, myself, I have a different sexual orientation. Like there, you know, but I'm a white cis woman also, right? And so I have this like idea of like, I've been a part of a challenging group, and then you have this racial, like there's so much divide right now. And I think that when we look at, especially here in the US, and then, you know, what's going on is we look at, everybody says, you know, I have this belief and I have this belief, and I'm against each other. But in the end, we are all love. We are all one. We are all from the same source, all just being split off into our little characters sitting here to play you know, a divine game, you know, and so what we do to someone else, we are literally doing to ourselves on a core level. Like when you, and when we start, and how do we know? Because this experiment that you guys do, when you send out peace to someone else, like, right, you literally come back. I know that when you do that kind of work, you and yourself start to heal and get better too, right? That intention of sending that. So whatever, if I'm sending out hate, if I'm sending out you know, anger, or I'm opposed to something, first off, opposition, all it creates is what? More of whatever you're opposing. So when you resist something, the more you resist it, the greater the resistance becomes, and the greater the energy that goes to the thing that you're resisting. So you're actually doing the opposite of what you want by resisting it, by talking bad about it, by saying all these things. You're creating more and more of that thing that you don't want to show up in your world. And so instead, if you can find a way to send that peace and that love to that, like you show, you're sending peace and love to these experiences, and it starts to dissipate. It starts to get less. You're not sending messages of anger and fighting against. No, you're sending peace and love. And you saw a drop in violence rates by 20% by sending peace and love.
By 38% in violence against civilians. I mean,
yeah.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, we can't claim it all for ourselves, because a lot of other peace groups have been meditating as well. And this is
absolutely. But it's this incredible thing of like, if we could just get people to understand that if I send out love to the thing that I don't like, that thing is going to dissipate. Whereas if I send out hate to the thing I don't like, it's going to get bigger. Send love to it all. Everything that you don't like, you should actually be sending more love to that than you are to the things that you do love. Right? So I don't know. I love the idea of what you're doing, and I'm grateful to have you a part of the docu-series, and I'm grateful to share your work, because if we get 10 million in, the whole world changes. The whole world shifts overnight, right? It really does.
That would be great, wouldn't it, to wake up and hear the news report that there's peace on earth, and the conflicts
and you know what, when we're here in this lifetime, you know, the reason we came at this time is because it is possible in our lifetime. I've seen one timeline shift already. We have had others. It is possible within our lifetimes in the next 50 years to actually create a society that is living in a higher consciousness and in that utopian experience. And now I know that people that some people that hear us say that think that we're just off our rockers and woo-woo, right? But I have seen and know that it is possible. And we are exponentially, it's the snowball effect. We are exponentially growing faster and faster and faster. More and more people are waking up every day, right? 8 billion, 9 billion people in the world. And there's going to be 1 billion awake by the end of this year, within the next year, right? It's happening. And so that force of what is going to happen, and what we have to usher them in and teach them and share them these messages with them. We really do.
Melissa, I have loved every word you said. Can you share with us how people can reach you?
Sure. So you can, if you want to go to the docuseries, that's quantum-miracles.com, or I'm sure that they have a beautiful link that they're going to share with you. I'm on Instagram as melissa.s.binkley. And pretty much if you put that into any Melissa S. Binkley, or Melissa, it might say Minnick, Melissa S. Minnick Binkley. I'm going through name change. But pretty much Melissa S. Binkley on any platform, and you'll find me pop up somewhere. And if you want to shoot me an email, if you want to talk about some of this stuff, I'm always I answer all my emails. That's melissa@melissabinkley.com.
You are amazing. I'm
Thank
just
you.
so grateful to have you in our realm.
You know, I can't wait to play more with you guys and do some cool stuff.
I know, me too. And just thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Blessings to you.
Many blessings.